Yo, what's up, Derek?
Talk to you. Like, I have a bunch of questions for you, and thank you for taking time tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
You know what I love about you is like I just get the feeling like, and I'm gonna get to this like why this is like a point I have. Like, I just feel like you're one of a kind. Like, I feel like just from looking at your Instagram, they broke the mold with you, and I feel like I like people that are original and fresh and unique, and I get that impression from you and your work.
That is really sweet.
And it's not something I feel like you try to do. I feel like that's just who you are, right? So it's like I don't know. It's just fresh because sometimes I feel like I fall into a system where every person is trying to be like the next person, and I'm so happy that
Right.
like you're not like that. You're just who you are, and if people like it, great. If they don't, well then screw off. So I like that.
Yeah. What you see is what you get.
That's right. You know, I have to say, like, just from your early life, right? So, just going off of IMDb here, born in Montreal, moved out at 17. I feel like your younger years, 17, 16, a lot was going on. And if whatever you wanted to say about that, Jenny, I'm all ears on.
Yeah. My early years. I mean, I wish I was a simple answer girl, but I'm such a yapper.
I'll take
Uh,
I'll take the yapping. I'm here to listen.
so it's so complex being human, you know. So my childhood, in my perspective as a child, felt extremely unsafe and chaotic and very um, just chaotic. I guess my parents, like my dad, was always with a camera, and he was emotionally unavailable, and my mom was the opposite. She was like overly emotional, and they got divorced when I
Yeah,
was really young,
yeah, yeah.
and it was just constant yelling. People didn't know how to just talk, just
Right.
hey, I'm upset, which is just a simple thing to do. So yeah, it was chaotic, and I started drinking really young with my friends. When I was like 13, I was
Right.
able to buy beer, which is
Wow.
super illegal.
Right. Right. Right.
um, but it was a small town where my mom lived, so I guess I don't know. And I moved out when I was about 17, because my mom had her issues, but she's been to therapy and she's grown a lot as a person. And being in that environment as a kid, it sucks. But as an adult, you're like, yeah, I mean, they were young when they had my first brother,
Right.
and then they had my second brother, and they're human, they're flawed, and they have baggage, you know?
Right.
So it sucked, but it could be worse, you know?
Right. No, that's an awesome, honest answer. And I feel like Jenny that people like, there's a great quote that talks about like when you're growing up, and so I'm gonna mutilate the quote, but basically the point of the quote is like your parents are growing up too. They're finding their way too. Like you mentioned, having your brother young, like that's not easy. Like I waited until I was like 48 to have my first kid because I knew if I had that kid at 31, at whatever, things would just not have turned out great. I mean it sucks because now I'm like, I want to live long enough just to be with them. So there's always something that hangs over life and the way situations are. Did you grow up in Canada or were you kind of moving a little bit there for a bit, Jenny?
So I totally grew up in Canada, but we moved a lot. So my parents were divorced. My dad only lived in Montreal, and he lived next door to his parents and sister, who passed away, all three. Like rest in peace. But
No, I'm sorry to hear that.
my mom, so we lived underneath my grandparents, and then we moved with my stepdad into his place, and then we moved into another place, and then we moved to a small village. So I had to
Wow.
ride my bike for an hour to see any kind of friend, which I did not want to
Oh my God.
do.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I was kind of a gamer and just really introverted and writing a lot,
Yeah.
um, and spending my time in the pool, but in my imagination. But yeah, I would ride my bike for an hour to see any kind of human form.
I mean, I'm laughing, but I mean, as a kid, I can imagine how hard that is. Like, so, so,
Sucks.
so like you do a bunch of things really well, right? You act, you do photography, you're a musician. How much of what you went through early on contributes to those three things, or does it contribute at all?
I mean, everything is always intertwined, I feel like. You
Right.
know, every kind of experience that we have shapes us as a human. Um, I have a deep fascination for human behavior and human connection, or understanding people and sharing, or like building a sense of family or community. You know, like something that I lacked as a kid was a sense of family. So, you know, photography, acting, music, it all brings people together.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and it helps you to connect with others on a deeper level, I feel like. So I think that kind of connects all three together. But, you know, there's music and movies, and there's directors of photography for film. So I
Right.
feel it's just like another way of exploring that same universe.
That's actually a really good point. So how do you like get your way officially into acting? Like, what steps do you take? Right? Because
Um, so for acting, I feel like I'm more on an unconventional path,
right.
which I'm okay with.
Right. There's no one
You
path
know?
anyway. There's no one
Yeah,
path, Jenny. Right? Yeah.
exactly. And I feel like if you have a fire inside of you and a passion for something, you're gonna find a way.
Right.
You just have to
Right.
be resilient and consistent and you know, just persevere. But acting the typical way, if you're a child, it's super easy. You don't need, you just need to exist and look cute, you know,
Right.
and look the part. But if you're older, you know, 16 and up, it's recommended to go study theater, because then when you get out of school, you have all those credits for like the unions, which makes it less of a pain in the ass.
Right.
But if it's a weird universe, I feel like there's a lot of rules to me that are stupid, because you're an artist, you know, if you make movies or whatever it is that's creative, I feel like there's all these rules that defeat the purpose of what it is. You know, you want to create something that's going to be timeless. You want to create art. You want to, you know, connect with people, and they put all these rules like you
Jenny,
need.
give me an example of like what you're talking about. Give me an example of like a rule or something that you're.
Well, you need like X amount of union credits in
I
order to join the union.
right.
But
Right.
after the year ends, if you didn't collect all those, it restarts.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it makes it so hard, and it's expensive. You know, if you don't come
Yeah.
from money, if you don't
Yeah.
come from money, it's hard. You need you need to believe in yourself mostly, but you need at least one person in your life that's going to be there to believe in you too.
Right. So at this point, Jenny, are you all in on acting? Are you all in on all three? Like, what? How would I categorize your professional life at this point? Just somebody who just does what they have to do, or how would I, Jenny? How would I categorize that?
I'm I'm not sure.
Right.
I'm
Right.
not sure. Like, I did my first lead role in a feature film that's American, that was filmed in Canada, um, in the summer. So it was like
Right.
5 months, and the producer says it might be on Netflix, it might be on Amazon. Like, we don't know yet. So that's in suspense for 2025. It is
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
come out in 2025. Um, but it's like, how do I categorize it? It's just part of who I am.
Yeah. It's kind of
I
an unfair question the way I said it because, like, I feel like every actor I talk to has like music or
Yeah.
writing or whatever. They all have
Mhm.
something. So yeah. So clearly, those three things are a part of you for as long as
Yeah.
you move forward. Yeah. Yeah.
It's my essence, you know.
Yes.
It's really,
That's a
it's
good
who
way of
I
saying it.
am. For me, there's never been a plan B. Like, it's not a thing. It
Right.
doesn't exist from like my perspective. There's no plan B.
And you've worked on some really cool projects, Mother. I mean, you've had
Yeah,
some really cool things. So like that helps you too, right? Like the whole point,
yeah,
Jenny. Like once you get to like a rhythm, you hope that rhythm carries to each project, right? So you're not at the end of the year resetting. You're kind of going from one job to the next, and kind of doing the other things you like too. I think that's the goal, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
my main, I refocused fully for acting this year, and it's been going well. And I've been doing like some modeling stuff on the side too. Um, but yeah, like I'm very grateful I got to be Darren Aronofsky, who's amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, the best
He's
director.
so inspiring to see in the work, and he's very like anal about stuff. And
Yeah.
one scene we shot for 26 hours in a row, but I was
Wow.
so high off of being happy being there. A lot of
Mm,
people were complaining, but I was living for it. I would have been there for 48 hours. I was so happy to be on set, and I felt so in my element and alive. And he was super nice. I was blessed to, um, when I visited in LA, I was blessed to watch his demo reel, like his student demo reel, because Stanley, who's like this older gentleman who's in every student film he made, was like, "Oh, do you want to watch Darren's demo reel?" And it was so good.
right.
And
Yeah.
teachers hated it.
Yeah. But like it's the fact that you like you pay so much attention to that like is amazing because I have this conversation all the time with actors. Like if I was ever on set with Darren or Christopher Nolan or Spielberg, whoever, like anybody,
Yeah.
like Denis Villeneuve, whoever, like I would be listening and like absorbing. And it's amazing how many people check out a little bit. Like, hey, I'm on set, I'm good. Let me just post pictures, which is fine. But like, I guess you're there to learn too. Like that's more important than any theater school can give you or acting school or what have you, right, Jenny? I feel like that's
Yeah, I'm an extremely fast learner, and I'm competitive. Mostly
right,
with myself. Like I
right,
want to
right.
be better. And I did, what's it called? Second City, I think, in
Ah,
California. I did like one class for commercials because I had an agent who was like, just do it for the resume. I hated it. She was really nice.
yeah,
Aileen is great. She was a really nice teacher, but it's not for me. I don't learn in class. I feel like I'm wasting my time. And real life is not rehearsed. Real life is like, you're gonna fuck up.
yeah, yeah,
and,
yeah.
and how better to learn than actually fucking up when it
Right.
matters, and then you know what not to do.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And like we said earlier, there's no like one path. So I feel like
Yeah.
there's people that have that they went to the Juilliard and like are trained and have these wonderful performances in theater that
Hmm.
still haven't cracked where they want it to be, and they have these loans, and it's like, I mean, that's not the path for everybody. So like, I feel like
Yeah,
as long as you are where you want to be, what the hell does it matter how you get there? Like you're there because
exactly.
yeah, I totally agree. I mean, there's no
Yeah.
one path, and it's weird how many paths I hear. Like a lot of people who are very successful don't do the Juilliard or acting school or
Yeah.
MFA. Like that stuff means like when you show up to an audition, they don't say, "Hey, you got your MFA?" Like they don't say that. It's not like being an accountant. You know?
And the truth is, they don't give a fuck. if
No,
if you were famous tomorrow and they wanted you in the project, you'd be in the project.
100%,
Like, they don't
100%.
care. And there's a thing called fake auditions too, where they already hired the person, and they have the actors come in as a show,
Yeah.
but they already hired the person, which I think is unfair, but they
Waste
have to
waste
do it.
waste of time for a lot of people,
Yeah, but it's all about networking.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
who you know has way more of an effect on your career than you know going to school.
Right. Right.
Because unoffensively, there are terrible actors,
Yeah.
that get a lot of work, but they're friends with the producer. They're someone's child, which is fine. Like, good for them. And there's projects for everyone, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it definitely does happen like that. And it's
Yeah.
unfortunate it happens like that. But as I told you at the beginning, like your uniqueness is something you definitely couldn't have picked up in acting school. You are who you are. So let's talk a little bit about Karate Kid Legends, right? So how does this opportunity pop in for you, Jenny?
So Karate Kid, I did sign an NDA, so I won't be able
I've
to
got you. I
talk
got
much
you. I
about
got
it.
you. I got you.
And one thing I can say is that Joshua is a really down to earth person. He's a very girl dad. Like,
Hmm.
he loves his kid. And Jackie Chan is the nicest grandpa, and the fittest grandpa you'll ever see. But for me, like, the Karate Kid, I didn't do much in the film, so it's
Right.
it's nothing like exceptional or that
but
anyone is gonna.
but you are on the call list or the billing, or you
Under
are
the,
there.
yeah,
Yeah, and your name's
yeah.
everywhere, and that's a great thing. And like, hey, listen, if this leads to something bigger, then great. Like, that's awesome. So you can't talk plot. I get it. Can you talk like audition, how you got that part of it?
So I'm only doing kind of like a feature background thing. So it's nothing talking or crazy.
Right,
So
right.
the process is just applying, I guess, on
Gotcha.
casting calls.
Yeah.
But I did do different projects this year that are really interesting. Like the feature film is called Not a Love Story, and
Okay.
it's a big drama. I'm in like 115 pages out of 130.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's one specific scene. It's not a spoiler, but it's like at a funeral, the setting, and I had to cry for 8 hours, which was totally unhuman.
Oh my
At an
God.
intensity that was not. I don't know how I did it, to be honest. And people did not. They came up to me and they were like, "I don't know how you physically were able to do this scene. It was 40 degrees. I burnt second degree like everywhere, and my
Oh my
eyes
God.
were swollen for 4 days." Um, but I'm excited to see that project. There's going to be a red carpet event in Ottawa, I think,
Very
if
nice.
ever. And then I did like some short films. One was for the um, by POC creators funds, and it was Nick Gray, who's wonderful. He has a bright
Mm.
future ahead of himself. And then I did one with an Italian filmmaker, Mia Stefania. Stefani. Sorry, Mia.
Yes.
Yeah, but Mia, yeah, she's great, and I'm excited for. I have more projects coming up too, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
feel like you have a lot kind of going on right now. Like, I feel like that's a good thing, right? That's
yeah.
excellent.
I think I'm on that wave, and it's getting bigger.
So, do you share scenes with Joshua and Jackie? Is that way their names were brought up particular? Again, I'm not going into
Yeah,
them
I
both.
mean, I was able to witness and be like. There's a scene where I do look at Josh, and like I'm in the camera.
Right. How many days did you spend filming? Is that like, again, I don't want to violate your NDA, but like, I mean, I feel like we're not
I
going
was
into the
there.
story.
Oh, I was there for 7 days, I think.
So is your character a part of the story or not part of the story?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah.
But I guess I'm trying to navigate without getting you in trouble too. So so I don't know. I don't know what I can ask you that won't violate the, like, I don't want to get you in any kind of trouble. When you were done filming, were you happy with what took place? Did you feel like you got a lot out of it? Or did you get a sense of the story?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a beautiful movie.
Mm.
The actors are wonderful, and the crew members are really wonderful to work with. I've worked with some of them on other projects, um, and yeah, it was really nice. I did have one background actor who was kind of kind of strange, but I can't get into details.
I'm, I'm dying to ask you so many questions. Were you happy with the way the role turned out for you? Or were you happy with what you put on, with the performance you put forward?
There wasn't much to do, to be honest. It was
Yeah.
just I can't talk about the
No,
scene,
I got you.
but
Don't
yeah.
say anything. Yeah, I don't want you to get in any trouble. Yeah, but the fact that like your name is out there with the film, the fact that like people are starting to, like, your life has been busy with the acting. I feel like that's awesome. Like, this is kind of what you want, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, this is exactly what I want to do. I want to be on set every day and work on projects that are fun, um, that resonate with me, and yeah, like with the modeling, I did Dans la rue, which is an organism that helps youths in need.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was really excited for that because that's a really important cause for me.
You're right.
And I mean, no one should be homeless, and no one should struggle that way.
Mm.
And I recently shot with Les Garçons Montreal, who I'm totally obsessed with now. It's like a great duo of photographers, and it was a mocktails for a brand that I can't name yet, but
Right.
it'll be out in January.
I feel like your name's on a lot of things. That's pretty good. Like, that's pretty impressive. That's kind of what you want, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have two billboards now, so that's cool. That's weird.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That. Yeah. Yeah. So you know, with your career, with everything the way it's going now, what are some things that inspire you? Like, what do you watch? Do you have time? Like, you're so busy. I hate to ask you this question because I feel like I'm not going to get an answer. Like, do you watch movies? Do you watch shows? Are you a streamer? What do you what do you?
So in my younger days, I was a huge gamer. It was like Final Fantasy, Grandia, Golden Sun. I would watch my brother play Zelda, and I would play
Mm,
Diablo and all those things.
mm, mm,
Final Fantasy, phenomenal music, like, really
mm,
good music.
mm-hmm,
Um, and then I worked in a Videotron for 5 years.
mm-hmm.
I worked in another one for a year. I worked illegally at 14 in a video store because she thought I was 18. And she was like, do not tell anyone your age. You're so tall for your age. I'm 5'10.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah, that is tall. That is really tall.
So she's like, don't tell anyone that you're underage. We rent porn.
Oh no.
Please. And there was
Oh no.
a regular customer who's so gross, but I mean, good for you can do whatever. I don't want to judge. But I do like it was more intense as a kid. I would dream like I would have died to be in a movie when I was younger, but I was so insecure. I didn't grow up in an environment that made me feel confident. You know, like it's something I had to learn. And I'm
Yeah.
someone who naturally shines, but I was so introverted as an extra. I'm an ambivert, but
No, I get what you're saying.
you
I get
know,
what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
and it's like I only started music in 2019, like learning the guitar. I learned the guitar in 2019, and
Wow.
I was playing every day for 7 hours because I really wanted to know how to play the guitar. And as a kid, I would sing, and like my friends would be like, "Oh, you're so bad at singing,"
Yeah.
or my family would be like, "Stop making noise." So it wasn't. It sucked. Like I'm like, dude, I love this shit, and I can't even do it. So it hurts. But I turned to writing,
Yeah.
and then movies. I love, especially uh, like recently, I'm a huge fan of Luca Guadagnino, the Italian filmmaker.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
love the Italians. Like in my life, I always pivoted around Italians. I don't know why. I just instantly love Italian people.
Mhm.
They have a sweet spot in my heart. And then Jordan Peele, Greta, um, and controversial. I do really love Woody Allen's movies. I know he's
Mm.
weird, but there's something about the rawness of New York, the chaos of New York,
Yeah,
and
people love them.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and music wise, it's like Nina Simone or Robert Johnson, Town Van Zandt, the Beatles, Amy Winehouse, Elizabeth Cotton, who's a really
Yeah.
badass lady. The pop punk scene in the early 2000s, or the punk rock British fashion and music scene. Those
Nina
have a huge
Nina
influence.
Nina Simone's music is so good. You ever see the movie The
So
Professional?
good.
You ever see the movie The
With
Professional?
Leon,
No, yeah, with what the hell's his
Natalie Portman.
yes, and Natalie Portman
Yeah.
is it Jean Reno? Is his last name Jean Reno or Jean Reno? Is that how you say
Oh,
his name?
Jean Reno.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like it's such a great movie, and that's where Nina Simone's music is all over that. Like, or well, no, wait, no, it isn't.
I don't remember her music being.
No, you know what it is? It's that Bridget Fonda movie
Oh,
where she plays like a spy. No, I have to correct myself. Yes, it was a Brit, and I'll figure that movie out too. But like that's the one where that music is all over it. But getting back to the video store, how long did you work there for?
so Videotron, 5 years at one location, which was the best job I've ever had. It was the most fun job. Like I'm sad teenagers can't experience that.
Isn't that suck? Doesn't that suck? Like that
It's
teenagers
so
can't go to a
heartbreaking.
video. Yes,
It's so
yes.
heartbreaking. And there's like a full circle moment in my life where I used to watch Stuck in Love with my coworkers on the screen from Josh Boone.
Yeah.
And he's actually like one of my best friends now.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the sweetest person ever. He's like a mentor to me. Like he's just really an amazing dad and an amazing person. I hope that we get to work together also in the future. But yeah, he's always there to encourage me and support my career.
Did you often just take movies and just go home and just like watch whatever you wanted to when you worked there? Is that
Yeah.
were you doing that?
Yeah.
Stuff?
Yeah. You could rent everything in advance before renting it to others, and they gave you free popcorn.
Yeah, I had an ex-girlfriend that worked in a video store, and she used to get me the coolest posters. Like I still have.
The posters.
Yeah,
oh my God.
But it's funny. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. I cut you off.
I have. It was funny what you said about the other kind of videos. In her store, it was all the way in like this back closed off room. It was such a sketchball room.
Always.
Like, I feel like when you're coming out of that room and you're making the walk up to the register, it's such a walk of shame. Like it's so embarrassing. Listen, it is what it is. Like you said, we're not judging anybody, but again, maybe a little bit. But like that's not one of those. Like that's one of those things. It's like you won't experience that anymore. It's just part of the 80s and 90s. It was kind of just that. That's what it was. Like it was just. Oh well, it's like smoking in a restaurant. Oh well, like you'll. It's just I don't know. When
there was a 3 for 1.
And it's such a hard thing. But like that's one thing I always like. Quentin Tarantino always references his days as working at a video store as some of his biggest influence because like there's so much you could do. The posters, the movies, like not even just like the new releases too. Like you could educate yourself with. Like I don't know, I feel like you made up for like not going the traditional way in a lot of other ways. Like right, you add like these little things and they supplement. Like it's just amazing, Jenny. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen over 3,000 titles easily.
Wow.
That I remember.
right. There's probably a lot more than
it's more than that. And it's funny because I was working with Brian on the movie this summer, and he's like, "You're a great actress, you know. You made me cry in your audition, and like no one ever makes me cry." And he says, "You're so funny, man. You have this Jennyism." He says, "You always add a word." Or like you always fucking change the sentence, but it's okay because like the essence is there and everything. But you always have to like give a little twist it. But for me, life is improv.
100%.
You know, you can't act like you. I try not to act. I try to be in the moment, and sometimes I'll do a scene and I black out the moment he says action. And then he says cut, and I'm like, I have no idea what I said.
There's going to be writers that get pissed at you for that, Jenny. Like, if you don't go word for word, there's writers that are so anal about that. Like, they are very, like, this is what I wrote. This is what you, like, I can't memorize.
This is what I wrote.
Yeah, I can't memorize, like, if you gave me 2 sentences, it would take me forever. Like, I don't know how you are able to, like, do dialogue. I can't do it. I have such respect for actors. I just think it's such a great skill to have. I can't do it.
So I love working with directors that allow you to improv because improv adds such an essence to things.
100%.
But I do know that there are projects that are like, you know, it has to be this way and it has to be done that way. Like the TV show, it's not out yet, but it did the New York TV festival, Ellen and Harold, which was really funny. It's a cool TV show. It's funny.
Gotcha.
I got to pepper spray an old man. He was so innocent too. He was trying to sell me drugs. And that had to be, you know, I had to say the same thing. Dead Weight, which was at the BIPOC festival, and that one, Nick was like, you really have to say word for word. And I love that project because it was so different. Like, I'm totally not Tanis Pinch. She's insane. She's like this insane, neurotic character, which is really exciting. I love tapping into the darkness of humans and psychology. But she talks so fast. And I was like, oh, normally, you know, they want you to slow down. But Nick was like, no. You're going to make people so uneasy. she thinks she doesn't think.
Right. Are you, Jenny? This is probably none of my business, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Are you bilingual? Are you able to speak 2 languages?
I speak 3.
Wow. What do you speak?
So I speak fluent French, and
I
I
was going
speak
to ask you. Yeah.
fluent French, fluent English. I speak like a 4-year-old in Spanish. It's rusty now because I haven't been to LA in a while, but yeah, it's so important to me. Like, other cultures
Yeah.
are so important to me. The respect of cultures. Like, when you travel, I would, like, I go to Paris, I can speak French, but if I go, or when I go to Italy, because I'm going to go to Italy eventually,
Yeah.
I need to learn like some Italian words. It's so important to me.
Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah, I speak Polish, but it's like a 5-year-old. Like, it's a 6-year-old. Like, I used to be really good. Like, and it's like I'm no longer good. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm really bad. The movie I was thinking of was Point of No Return. It was that had a lot of Nina Simone in it. That did.
She's so good, man.
Yeah,
she's so good.
Yeah. I have to say, you're just so much fun to talk to, and like I'm like so rooting for you moving forward. Like, I don't know, I'm dying to see some of your projects come out. I'm dying to recognize the talent that I see. So I'm really happy for you, Jenny.
I'm so deeply grateful for that. Like, you have no idea. It means so much because I believe in myself. So like, when someone else is like, "Hey, like, I see it too," it's nice.
Yeah, and I do, like, I really meant that thing about your individuality. Like, I really love the way you don't give a shit. Like, you just are who you are. Like, because like in podcasting, like, there's so many podcasts, even including myself. Like, we're all in the same category, and it's like every single person is doing the same exact thing as the other person. Like, if I continue down this road, I'm just going to be a clone. Like, and I don't want that. I want to be different. I want to express like what I love, what I feel. Like, I kind of want to get to where you are, not necessarily personality, but like just like. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm going to be who I am. And if people don't like it, great. If they listen, great. I hope they do. If they don't, well, to hell with them. Like, I just, but I can't be a podcast. That's the one thing I realized over 8 years. Like, I know what I do well. I know what I need improving on. But like, I also don't want to go down the same road. Like, and there's so many people. It's like when somebody says, "Oh, I want to be in a band," that there's garage bands. Well, you have to be something that's unique and different, and that sets you apart. That's what I think. I don't know. But,
yeah, you have to be. I mean, it's exhausting. Like, in my childhood, I was such a people pleaser up until not that long ago too. And I'm like, well, people pleasing is a form of manipulation, and who wants to do that, and also, not speaking your truth, it blocks your chakra. You feel it here, you want to speak, but you feel it here. Just say it. No one's gonna die, And also compliment people. Tell them that you love them, and say like, "Oh, this is great," or you just speak your mind and be you, because it's so exhausting. And the same goes for lying. Like, you having to remember shit. Like, who has time for that?
You have to walk. It's like a case. You have to walk back what you said to everybody, and it's like, I totally agree. You got to be who you are. Before I let you go, I have 2 questions. One of which is, what are any projects you have around the corner? If you wanted to get your social media out there, anything you wanted to say, Jenny?
Ooh, okay. Yes. Well, I have upcoming projects. Like, Dead Weight is going to be available. It's going to be really funny. It's a dark comedy horror, and Golden Star by Mia Stefani is also going to be really sweet drama, kind of coming of age. Not a Love Story is probably going to be on Netflix or Amazon or other.
Okay.
Which is going to be a big drama. You think it gets better, it doesn't. And then, the other stuff I haven't started yet, but it's happening in like January. And I have music on Spotify. I don't promote enough.
Yeah, you don't. You really don't. You really don't. No.
Well, because I write it for myself mainly, but I should share it more. My friend Marie-Michelle has her consulting business, MMT Consultation, no S.
Yeah.
It's new.
Okay.
She's a wonderful person.
Okay.
And then thank you to Next Models Canada, who helped me in my career as a photographer when I was starting, because they allowed me to do test shots and whatnot. And thank you to Aisha Blondeau, who got me a lot of modeling contracts as well when I was starting. And thank you to Kevin Defossé, who got me on Mother. I was on set of Mother.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
I was also on set of it never came out. It's Roadside Picnic.
Okay.
And I had 3 scenes with Matthew Goody.
Oh, and it didn't come out?
No, the show never come out. It was directed by Alan Taylor. I wasn't speaking in the roles, but I was with Matthew Goody, and that was in my beginning of acting.
Gotcha.
And I stumbled upon him at an Irish bar after the set, and he was with his wife and friends. He's the nicest actor.
Well, that sucks it didn't come out. Let me ask you this. Listen, I know you signed an NDA. I'm not saying it's a big thing. Is there anything you could tell me about Karate Kid Legends that's even a minor thing? Anything, like something, a funny story, anything that like would give like somebody listening to this like hope that's not going to get you in trouble? And I get it. Listen, I'm not.
I think it's going to be a really nice movie. The actors worked really hard.
Yeah.
There was one night of filming that we were stuck in the studios because there was thunder outside and we couldn't leave until it stopped.
Okay. Were you able to see other actors doing their thing, like you know how you mentioned earlier that you were on the set of like you Aronofsky? You said, hey, I watched. Were you able to do that here?
Josh, I forget the name, but like the main actor and the main Sandy, maybe her name is, the young actress.
Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw, and the OG actors, were there. So I've seen like, I think I saw most of the main actors performing, which was great.
Ralph Macchio and
I'm terrible with names. So
that's okay. Did you get a chance to talk to Jackie Chan?
I didn't talk to him. He talked to everyone. Took everyone out for he brought everyone out and got them supper, which was really, really nice of him. Yeah, he's a very, very nice person.
Yeah, and I just hope I want this movie to do so well because it's got a first-time director. Sometimes that works really well. Sometimes it doesn't. Like I'm always.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, he's great. He's a great guy.
Yeah. Were you a Cobra Kai person coming into this? Like, did you know about the backstories and so forth?
I mean, the '90s Karate Kids, but Cobra Kai, my mom watches it.
Yeah. I miss the old school, the '80s one, and that's where I feel old because Jenny, I'm like, because they're like, I was reading something today. They're like, 40 years after the original. I'm like, 40 years. I was at the theater watching that as an 11-year-old. What do you mean 40 years? Like, I'm looking at myself.
People are not gonna, people are not gonna see the movie for me. I would say because it's more of a like feature background thing than anything.
You know what? That means nothing. The fact that you're in it though, but like here's the thing. Like you are building up to like I think you being in this is nothing but positive. Like you keep trying to say, I'm in the best. Like that means nothing. Like you are in it. You are there. Like seriously. Like that's awesome. Like, do you know how many people would kill to switch spots with you, right? So that's awesome.
I was dressed nicely. I'm really grateful. The stylists were, I think Danny, his name is, they were great. Like, everyone on set was super nice.
Where was the shooting? Is that part of the NDA? Can you tell me where you shot?
I don't think I can.
Okay.
I don't know if I can. I'd rather not get shot.
No, don't risk it. But you were away for 7 days, and I mean that's great. That's great.
The people at Sony are great. They're nice.
Yeah, I'm cheering for this movie. I think a lot of people are very hopeful for this movie. I think this movie is going to set the ground for a lot of other movies too. And they're introducing the lead actor, so he's definitely going to be doing a lot more work after that. 100%. I hope you come back again. Like this was fun. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I love this. You're great. You're really nice. I feel like we've talked before.
That's really good because that's kind of the feeling I get. Like I want that to be the case. Like I never want people to be like I had somebody on YouTube the other day say like, I interviewed a guest from, ironically enough, Cobra Kai, and I was just talking about how great I liked his role. And somebody wrote on Facebook, "Well, why don't you give him an open mouth kiss? Like, say I was kissing his ass." But like, what am I supposed to like? I love the way the guy portrays his role. Like, so am I supposed to have people on the podcast and say like, "You suck. Your roles are horrible. like, what were you thinking? Did you not read the script beforehand? What are you, an asshole?" Like, why would I do that? Like, this podcast is about recognizing things I love, acting, like your career, what you've been doing. Like,
Right.
yeah, like, why would I?
So funny.
Like, I'm sorry that this guy thinks that I want to kiss somebody's ass because I'm giving them a compliment. Like, are you not like?
Are you nuts?
That?
Yeah.
Like, who does? Why would I do that? Why would I want to make somebody feel awful about themselves? Like, so I don't know, but it is what it is.
It makes me think like when I was in LA, I was in the LA Center Studios, and the first time I met this person named David, he's like, "Oh, Suki Waterhouse," because I had the same haircut. And he's like, "Suki, you were, I saw your the Bad Batch. He's like, I saw your movie on Netflix. It sucked, but you look great."
Thanks.
Thanks. And he left, and I was just like, "I'm not Suki."
That's like a double whammy, right? First of all, he says I didn't like it. Second of all, it's not you. It's like, what? Like, yeah, I don't know. But
he's a great guy. Like, he didn't. Yeah. I don't think he meant anything. He's like, the movie was bad, but you were great, kind of thing. But
yeah, I totally get that.
But the internet is brutal.
It is so brutal. Like, I was like stunned. Like, I had to delete it, and then he comes back and he doubles down and writes more. I'm like,
oh my god,
what are you trying to do? Like, and most of the people that like I interact with, it's like so positive. Like, it's really so like most of the people are, for as bad as the internet is, my interactions have been really positive. Like, it's
that's good.
Yeah, people have been like, I love your interview process. I love how, like what you just said. I love how I can feel like I'm at home or whatever. That means a lot to me. That's my currency. That's what I want to go with at the end of the day. Like,
yeah, I'm really glad to Zoom meet you.
Yeah, we are Zoom meeting. Maybe one day maybe if you go to a Comic-Con one day, I can meet you in person and I'll give you a high five and thank you for coming on. And
I'll give you a hug. What the fuck?
Yeah, let's do a hug. All right, let's do a hug. All right, I'm in.
Yeah,
I
sure.
I work with kids during the day, so I'm always giving high fives. So,
that's sick. Yeah. I've worked with kids too for like 3 years. Yeah, phenomenal experience.
Jenny, I've been a history teacher for 28 years.
What?
That's my.
That's why you're the film guy.
Yeah, I love film and the history of film. Like, I love it. It means great to me. And then, yeah. So I get to talk to great actors like you. So
I miss the rawness of film.
Yeah,
there's a certain like rawness, the vulnerability, and like people are afraid to do something that goes out of the comfort zone.
Yeah,
and I just miss seeing realness. Like the audio's not perfect. It's too sterile now for me. It looks beautiful. It's wonderful. It's like really well made, but I miss the rawness.
But even like comedies, Jenny, they suck now. They're horrible. Like listen, I do work with Netflix. I hope this doesn't sabotage me. Like I've done like promotion for Netflix, and they've been kind to me in the past. But like,
love Netflix.
Yeah, but their movies for the most part haven't been awesome. Like their series, they do good work, but they're like movies, they're comedies, they're drama shows. They're like you look at like, did I waste my time with that? It's like, like they're behind like Apple TV Plus. They're behind a lot of the other streamers.
Oh, Apple's doing good, with the show.
Really good, good. Apple TV Plus is doing great work, but it's like some of the stuff that's coming out, it's like it's
because it's an algorithm.
It really is. Like there's no soul to it. There's no life to it. There's no personality to it.
It works. It's like a formula. It works in the numbers. But if they actually stepped out and they think they're giving the people what they want, but they're not.
They're not. But that's what's separate. Like the Hallmark Channel, it's the same movie shown 150 ways, but it's the same movie. Yeah. But people know that going in. They're like, I know what I'm going to get, and they love it. Like, that's fine. But Netflix kind of pumps stuff up, and then when you watch it, you're like, Oh my goodness, that was bad.
Yeah, like the one of the best shows is The Sopranos.
Oh,
It's
100%.
so good. People were pissed at the ending, and I'm like, it's so good. It's
He
such a good ending.
Jenny, he is such a horrible person, Tony Soprano. Like I was just analyzing his character. Like think about all the stuff he did. He kills his cousin. Like he's just like I had a question the other day, and maybe did you see Breaking Bad?
Yeah, I used to have the DVDs,
So
my dinosaur artifacts.
who do you think is worse, Tony Soprano or Walter White? Who's a worse person?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's tough. I go back and forth with it. Like one guy is like selling drugs and ruining other lives. One guy's a murderer and like a
Well, okay, I think here's the really fine line. So Walter has cancer.
he does.
It's what so he was trying to make money. So like his intent wasn't bad to start with, you know.
I kind of agree with that. I kind of agree.
But
Tony was bad from the start.
Tony's a little narcissistic or whatever the word they use these days.
Yeah, he was bad from the start.
Yeah. What I love about that show is that I'm so bad with names, but the writer is such a dreamer.
Yeah,
You can tell that he dreams. Yeah. It's so good. The dream sequence, so creepy.
It really is, and some of those scenes are beyond frightening because there's people out there that exist like that. Like there, even in the past, like if you watch Goodfellas or like that stuff crazy. Like, why would you go into a profession where you know that you could be whacked one day? Like that's crazy.
A little excitement.
Yeah. But anyways, Jenny, I hope let's do this again sometime.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm keeping you.
No, you are not keeping me. I love speaking. Like it's very rare that I get to have like just break out of it and just talk movies. Like sometimes I try to stick to a script because people are on a schedule. I don't want to offend anybody or
we're movie geeks.
We are movie geeks. What's your all-time favorite? Do you have an all-time favorite?
Kill me softly. Okay, so I have like my unserious answers, which is like the original 1961 101 Dalmatians, which I really love because I love London, and it's so good. And then Balto is really good. Those are like my animations, and I'm obsessed with like Over the Garden Wall, still in the animation section.
Yeah.
Film wise, it changes with the seasons. But like I said recently, I love Luca. I loved Challengers. Like Challengers was such a hot movie. It was so dynamic, and
I wasn't ready for how powerful Luca was. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for how powerful that movie was.
But even Bones and Alls, I almost threw up. One thing I'm not able to do is like the cannibalism. And it was a little too gory for me. I'm not a gore girl. Like I'm more of a psychological horror film.
Yeah, I don't like slasher films. I don't like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Scream's fine because it's kind of comedic, but Bones and All. But it's a crazy metaphor on like addiction and like love and all these things. But it was. I think it is a metaphor for like drug addiction.
Sure. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. You're the second person to say 101 Dalmatians was their favorite film. Somebody 2 interviews ago said yes, and they were talking the original too. They weren't saying like the remake. Yeah. That's
I absolutely This is another contradicting answer. People are going to be like, "Fuck you," because. But why would I lie? I love A Rainy Day in New York with Smitsy and Elle Channing, and they're in the Bob Dylan biopic now, which is exciting. But
they're saying Timothée Chalamet is like a no-brainer Oscar winner. Like they said, they said the story's not awesome, but his performance is out of this world. Like he
thinks just like him.
I was not ready. Did you see the film?
No.
Oh yeah, because
I'm gonna see it though.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm like, because I'm dying to ask somebody who saw it. Like, I have so many questions.
I wish
I wasn't ready for how he's been doing the circuit lately. He's been doing a lot of shows. I wasn't ready for how down to earth he is and how cool he was. Like I was totally expecting a guy that's like Leo DiCaprio, where he's not like he's so everything. He can't really relate to anybody. But Timothée Chalamet was like so down to earth, so grounded. He was talking about New York City. He's talking about his sister who lives in France in this like private community in the woods or something. Like he was just like he was so original, authentic, like we were talking about. So yeah, it was refreshing.
Yeah, you know what it is? I don't know. I love astrology, and people are like, "Oh, astrology! Well, fuck off." I love astrology. It's a good tool, you know. It's a good tool to like understanding human behavior in more of a depth. It's super complex. Like it's not like what's your birthday? Like
October, Libra. I think I'm a Libra. October.
You're a Libra, so it's like you're a Libra, but you're not. That's just not just who you are. You know, you have all these other placements in your birth chart. But if I'm not mistaken, Timothée Chalamet, he's a Capricorn rising Virgo with a Pisces moon and an Aquarius Venus, which it's more complex than just what I'm saying, but like Pisces moon brings dreams to people. Like people with Pisces moons inspire like imagination. He's a Capricorn, so he's very like wise beyond his years and like very hardworking. Rising Virgo, very self-critical, very hardworking. I'm a rising Virgo, so it's like I have like a Capricorn stellium. Too much,
I like it. No, say yeah.
But it's like when I do something, I want to really do it well. You know, I take so much pride in what I do, and I respect what I do. You know,
right.
And I feel like all rising Virgos are so self-critical, and like we don't want to brag, but it's like God, I work so hard.
Yes, 100%. Let's do this again sometime, Jenny. Let's do it. I'm serious. Like, I know people say that and they don't do it. Like I'm serious. Like let's do this again sometime. Like next project you're promoting, please consider me and please come back on.
Yeah, I mean, hit me up whenever.
Okay, Jenny, I was expecting this to be great. It was even better than that. So thank you for this. I really appreciate it.
Oh no, dude! Thank you for having me, and you're wonderful.
Yeah, you.